Say you want to know how the internet works. Well, you've come to the right place. Let's break it down. Connecting to the internet is a lot like ordering a pizza. First things first, you gotta look up the pizza company in the phone book and get their telephone number. Then you dial them up and you tell them you'd like to order a pizza. They'll probably ask you for some information like, what sort of pizza do you want? Where do you live? And what's your credit card information? You give them that information, and about 45 minutes later, you've got a hot and ready pizza right at your door. When we connect to the internet, instead of looking for a pizza to be delivered, we're looking for a website to be delivered to our computer. Assuming your computer is connected to the internet, in order to receive a web page, our first step is to open a web browser. Programs like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Microsoft Edge are all examples of web browsers. Next, we have to input the address that we'd like to visit into our address bar. This can be something like google.com or facebook.com. So what happens once we've typed our destination into the address bar and hit enter? In the pizza analogy, we used a phone book to look up the phone number of the pizza company. On the internet, however, instead of a phone number, we need the IP address of the website that you're trying to connect to in order to get the data that you're looking for. When we want to look up an IP address, we use what's called a domain name server, which is a server that can translate google.com into an IP address that we can connect to. Once we had the phone number of the pizza company, we called them up and told them we wanted a pizza. On the internet, our web browser will contact the IP address of the server and tell them, hey, we want to get a copy of your website to show to the user. It does this by sending what's called a request to the server's IP address. When we ordered a pizza, we had to give our address to the pizza company so they'd know where to send the pizza. Here, the web browser will include in the request our own IP address so that the web server knows where to send the website to. Our next step was to tell the pizza company what kind of pizza we wanted and what toppings. Similarly, our web browser will include in the request what browser type you're using and what computer type you're using so that the website comes back in a way that your computer can understand and display correctly. There are some differences between the way that Windows computers show websites versus how Mac computers show websites, as well as phones and tablets, and so it is important that we tell the web server exactly what device we're using so that the website can be presented correctly. Our next step in ordering a pizza was to give our credit card information to the pizza company. This ensured that they would receive payment for the pizza and that they knew who we were and knew who to charge. Similarly, with the web browser, if the website you're trying to access needs you to log in or authenticate in some manner, then your web browser may ask you for a username and password and then send that along in the request to the web server so that it knows who you are. Even if your web browser doesn't ask you for a username and password, it still might send some personally identifying information in the form of cookies or other trackers. Once the pizza company knew who we were, what we wanted, and where to send it, they sent us a finished pizza. Similarly, once the website we're contacting knows who we are, what we want, and where to send it, it sends us a complete website. The final step is for our web browser to show us our website, and just like that, we're enjoying a nice, hot, and fresh website. Now, the pizza analogy isn't perfect, and there are some things that I left out for simplicity's sake. In our pizza example, the pizza place phone number was published in the phone book and generally doesn't change. On the internet, however, IP addresses can be flexible and change based on the information you're requesting and the number of people who are currently trying to access the website. Domain name servers are advanced and can generally update on the fly to give you the correct information, which is not something that phone books can do. Another issue is that domain name servers don't always have the IP address that you're looking for. With the phone book, All of the phone numbers were listed in that one phone book, and you could look up whatever phone number you needed. However, with domain name servers, sometimes they don't have the complete IP address and they may forward your request to another domain name server. Even if it takes a couple of requests, eventually your web browser will find the right destination IP address to send the request to. So, in summary, when we went to order the pizza, we looked up the phone number in the phone book, we called the pizza company, we gave them the information about what we wanted, and they sent it to our door. Similarly, when we wanted to connect to a website, we opened our web browser, we sent a request to the domain name server to look up the IP address, we got the IP address and sent our request there, and the server located at that IP address sent us back the complete web page we were looking for. I hope this gives you a general idea of how requests work on the internet and how your web browser interacts with other web pages. There's plenty more to go into, but feel free to ask any questions in the comments below or identify any areas that you'd like me to expand upon. I'll be making further videos in this series explaining other specific topics on the internet, but feel free to highlight any that caused any confusion for you or that you'd like to learn more about. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, feel free to leave a like on the video. And as always, thanks for watching. If you managed to make it through this entire video without ordering a pizza, I'm very impressed. Leave a comment below and I'll give it a thumbs up.